Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the Kade and Keys channel. Today, we're going to be learning 4 easy but very effective exercises to help you get a kickstart in piano improvisation. If you've always wanted to learn piano improv, then this video is for you. Now, these exercises are actually structured like songs to make it more fun and interesting. Also, I'll be putting up the sheet music as we go on with the video. But even if you can't read sheet music quickly, don't worry, you can actually learn it just by looking at my hands. Now, these 4 exercises are from my new book, Piano Improv Foundations Level 1. 20 exercises to help you learn the fundamental techniques for piano improvisation. You can get that book through the link below. You can get the first 5 exercises for free by clicking the link in the description. Now let's start. Exercise 1. Now this exercise uses a very simple and common movement. And it's very simple that even without any notes, you can actually do it. It's basically just broken chords that you play alternately. So example, at the chord of C, C, E, G, you start from the highest, going to the lowest, and back and forth. G, and notice how we're using inversions. Now, why is it important to use inversions in this? Because if you don't use inversions and keep all of them at root position, you're going to be transferring pretty far. Let's say you start at C here. When you go to G, you have to transfer here. And A minor. And F. Not only is it harder, but it also doesn't sound as good because there seems to be no coherent melody line. In the next part, even if you're playing the same movement, but you're adding extra notes so that the melodic line doesn't sound too redundant. Look at the C. So we're adding the note of A there, but it's just a passing note because when we go to the chord of G, we make sure we land on any of the 3 notes of the chord of G. An A minor. And going to F, we add a D. So even if you're going to be adding other notes that don't belong to that particular chord, it's just passing. It makes the melody sound better, but make sure that when you reach the next measure in that different chord, even if you're on passing notes, you land on any of the 3 notes of the chord to really solidify that that is the chord that we are in. The left hand is just simple octaves. This is also one thing very important to practice. So that's it for exercise 1. Exercise 2. So this exercise is slower compared to exercise 1. But again, we're applying basic patterns and using the same simple principles that we are always going to apply even if we're at the beginner stage all the way up to the advanced stage. So look at the melodic line. At C, we're just playing the notes of the C chord. The next part, we're just adding an extra note, but still notes that belong to that chord. So for C and G, A minor. So as long as you know the notes of the chord, you can just play it in any rhythm and in any pattern and in any arrangement. It will sound really good, trust me. But one thing to notice here is the left hand. Instead of just playing octaves, we're adding another note. Look at the C chord. We're playing a G there. When we go to the chord of G, we're adding the note of D. A minor, add the note of E. F, add the note of C. And so what that is actually the 1-5-1. And just like the right hand, you can play that in different rhythms. So in this exercise, the first round, just play it as an octave. But on the second part, you will play it individually like a broken chord. And so on. So that's exercise number 2. Now, before we continue, I want to remind all of you that you can get these 4 exercises plus 1 for free by clicking on the link in the description. Now, these exercises aren't only meant to help you learn basic rhythms and patterns, although that is part and it's helpful. Actually, it will guide you and give you suggestions on how you can improvise on those exercises. And that is actually the main goal of learning these exercises. So if you're interested to learn more about this and you want to start to learn how to improvise on the piano, then I encourage you to get these free 5 exercises. Now let's continue. Exercise number 3. So exercise number 3 uses another very common pattern that's easy to learn but sounds really good. Look at the right hand. So what you're basically doing is just playing the chords in 2 steps. The first step is play higher and you play 2 notes. And then lower note. You can do it in any inversion again. G, A minor, F, C. And so again, those were just extra notes. Just a reminder that you can add any note that belongs to that key that you are playing in this case, the key of C. As long as when you reach the next measure, you play the chord that that measure is in to really solidify the harmony. And again, just like in exercise 1 and 2, you apply this movement, but you learn all the inversions of the chords so that the sound will be coherent. Now in the left hand, it's just octaves, but this time we're adding a rhythmic element to it. Instead of playing just C, like this, lower and higher, we play 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now again, the beauty of improvisation is really that you can do anything that you want. If you've noticed, the 3 exercises actually have the same principles that are applied, but you're just using different rhythms, different methods, and different ways and different patterns of playing, but it's all the same principle. These exercises are just to give you ideas on how you can make your own ways of improvisation. Exercise 4. Now this exercise, like all the other exercises, uses the same chord progression, C, G, A minor, F. But I hope you noticed while listening to me play it that this is in 3/4 time signature instead of the usual 4/4. Now, that's also another important thing to learn, that we learn how to play in different time signatures and in different rhythms. So we're not just limited to one style of playing. And like all the other exercises, we're using the same principles. On the right hand, the melody is composed of that chord while adding other passing notes. Now, it's important to take note of this, that you have the melody. But instead of just playing the melody, every first beat of the measure, you're adding an extra note. Why? So when you land on that next measure, you're really solidifying the harmony of that chord. For example, we start with C. By adding that extra note, even if it's just one note, you're making it clear that that is in the key or the chord of C. When you land on the G, aside from just the melody, you also add that extra note there. A minor, aside from just the melody of A, you're adding that E there to make the harmony even clearer. And so that's one thing we need to learn how to apply in this exercise number 4. Aside from just the melody, now we're trying to add a harmony with the melody put together. And the easiest way is to just add it on the first beat of every measure. Now, the left hand here is just using the same 1-5-1 movement. But what's actually fun about this is that since it's in 3/4 and your 1-5-1 is 3 notes, you can actually use your left hand to help keep the time. See? That's C. 1, 2, 3. G. 1, 2, 3. A minor. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So that's just one fun tip to help you practice your 3/4 time signatures. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you learned some things today to help you start improvising on the piano. Also, remember that you can get these 4 exercises plus 1 by clicking on the link below. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned some important things. Thank you very much. This has been Kate and Keys. God bless you.